Welcome to the GutFit Nutrition Podcast, the show where we dive deep into the world of gut health, nutrition, and fitness to help you unlock your best self from the inside out. I'm your host, Leigh Merotto, a registered dietitian, gut health expert, long-distance runner, and movement enthusiast on a mission to empower you with science-backed, whole-body strategies to fuel your body, heal your gut, and thrive in your active life. Whether you're here to finally break free from IBS and digestive symptoms, optimize your fitness performance, or learn how to support your gut health with natural strategies, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll explore topics like conquering digestive symptoms, building a gut-friendly lifestyle, enhancing endurance and strength performance, and more. So grab a cup of your favorite gut-friendly tea and settle in, because we're about to get gut fit together. Welcome back to another listener Q&A episode. These episodes are where I take the questions that you send me and quite simply answer them on the podcast. Be sure to send me your questions either as a comment on this episode, whether you're tuning in from YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or you can also send me a DM over on Instagram at Leigh Merotto_RD. Today's question was sent in by Nora from Ontario, Canada. Nora asks, I've never tried digestive enzymes to reduce bloating before having a meal I know may cause symptoms. Should I be doing this? And if so, which ones? So great question. So to break this down, let's talk about what enzymes are. So digestive enzymes are actually proteins that regulate the chemical reactions that our body uses to digest our food. So these proteins assist our bodies to break down and absorb macronutrients like fats, proteins, and the carbohydrates we consume. And they are essential for digestion. So why might you need digestive enzymes? So typically our glands produce enough of the enzymes that we need to digest our food. However, when these glands are functioning or not functioning properly or damaged, aka not producing enough of the enzyme, then we might need enzyme supplements to help us out. So if you do potentially have any food intolerances, like potentially in the case of IBS, FODMAP, intolerances are common like lactose, GOS, fructan, mannitol, and sorbitol. These are considered food intolerances. So this means that, a body has a hard time digesting a certain food or food component, which can be due to a lack of an enzyme. And so consuming the food can then lead to bloating, gas, constipation, or diarrhea, just because we don't have enough of those proteins to help us break it down. So all that to say, there are some enzymes that can be helpful in IBS, more specifically in the realm of helping with breakdown of FODMAPs, because FODMAP intolerances are common. So one common one is actually lactase enzymes. So these can be helpful if you have trouble digesting the sugar lactose, which is also considered a FODMAP. So if you have, potentially occasions when you're not able to control the lactose or the dairy presence in your food, then maybe using something like a lactase enzyme could be helpful in that situation. The other option are specifically FODMAP enzymes. So there is a patented FODMAP enzyme blend known as FODZYME, and this helps specifically with breaking down the 3 FODMAP groups: lactose, which is in like our dairy products, GOS or galacto-oligosaccharides, which is in things like green peas, oat milk, beans, and chickpeas, and then the wide spectrum of fructans, which is in foods like wheat products and garlic and onions. So FODZYME is an enzyme blend that can help with the breakdown of these specific FODMAPs. So in both the case of lactase and also using FODZYME, it is important to know if these FODMAPs are actually intolerances for you. So I do find that it's best if people go through the FODMAP process and they do the reintroduction phase to really truly nail down whether these are the FODMAPs or the sugars that they are intolerant to. So in this situation, if you do have an intolerance to lactose, GOS, or fructan, either FODZYME or lactase may be beneficial for you in those instances. So there are also general digestive enzymes. So if you've heard of products like Digest Gold, these are general digestive enzymes. So they don't work specifically on the FODMAPs, but they can help with the breakdown of like carbs, fats, proteins in your meal. So I find that they're really not necessary for most people. There's really little evidence to suggest, they're used for SIBO, IBS, and general gut health. I have had a very, very, very small amount of clients who do have some maybe more sensitive system. And sometimes when traveling, these enzymes can be helpful, but they're not something that I tend to really recommend very frequently. That said, there is a condition known as exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, which is where essentially your pancreas is not producing enough of the enzymes that can help break down your carbs, fats, and proteins. So this is a true medical condition. It doesn't tend to occur just randomly on its own. So it usually comes sort of secondary to another condition or as a result of pancreatic damage, whether it's pancreatitis, alcohol abuse, type 1 diabetes, sometimes even SIBO, Crohn's disease, celiac disease can contribute to this. And really the common symptoms can overlap with IBS. So you get oily diarrhea, a lot of fat in the stool. So when you flush your bowel movements, there's trace left behind, it sticks to the toilet bowl. It's usually a sign of excess fat, bloating, gas, fatigue, cramps, pain even in the center of your stomach that radiates to the back, and sometimes even loss of muscle too. So this is a medical condition that's diagnosed through a stool test, through a fecal elastase test, which measures the amount of elastase in your stool. And low levels of fecal elastase, or this enzyme, can be indicative of EPI, or pancreatic exocrine insufficiency, as elastase actually helps break down fats, proteins, and carbohydrates after you eat. So this is a true medical condition that you can get diagnosed through a doctor, again, through doing a stool test if you do have any of those symptoms that I mentioned. But even in this case, then taking over-the-counter enzymes like Digest Gold are actually not strong enough to help manage this condition. So you'd actually need specifically prescribed enzymes. They're known, the most common one is known as Creon. They're very high dose digestive enzymes. So for example, 2 Creons, which is recommended like per meal, contains 25,000 lipase units, versus Digest Gold, which is your over-the-counter supplement, has only 4,000 lipase units per capsule. So even in the case of, your pancreas not making enough of the digestive enzymes or elastase to break down carbs, proteins, and fats, then those over-the-counter digestive enzymes, general digestive enzymes, might not even help with your condition. So very, very rarely do I recommend just general digestive enzymes. But in the case of specific FODMAP intolerances, then I do recommend either FODZYME if you find you struggle with GOS, fructan, and lactase intolerance, or if you just have a lactose intolerance, then using Lactase can be a helpful enzyme product. That's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of our community here. If the GutFit Nutrition podcast is giving you value, helped your digestion and fitness, made you rethink how you approach your gut health, consider leaving a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you're getting your podcasts. If you have questions for my listener Q&A episodes, you can submit them as a comment on this episode or send me an email at leigh@leighmerotto.com. For more digestible IBS, gut health, and fitness tips, be sure to follow me on Instagram at LeighMerotto_RD. And to apply for coaching, shop the resource suite, or grab a freebie, visit gutfitnutrition.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be in touch soon.